Let's do this! I love car meets, but there's something missing from car meets, and I think it's the fact that cars are better in motion. So I've decided to do a breakfast drive, and I took a couple of subscribers and close mates with me, and oh my god, what a drive it was.
The idea behind the breakfast drive was pretty simple. Get a group of people who love their cars together early on a Sunday morning, give them a route worthy of getting up for, and finish somewhere with a decent breakfast. I'd driven and planned the route beforehand, mixing some quick A roads with country lanes, plenty of twists and turns, and some great scenery along the way. No one knew exactly where we were heading until they'd booked their place, but judging by what turned up that morning, I think we'd assembled a pretty good group. And if you fancy coming along to one of our future drives, we've got a WhatsApp group where I'll be sharing details of what we've got coming up. I'll put my email below, just drop me an email and I'll add you to the group. But for now, the cars were all parked, so let's check out what cars turned up.
Starting with my all-time favorite 992 Turbo S. Love this color. It's not the crayon gray, which is one of my favorite colors, but I definitely love this color. Look at the interior as well. Loving the light color interior. We've had this car on the channel before. Mate Steve, love this guy, awesome. The OG Golf GTI. If anyone knows me, I'm a massive VW fan, and I've always loved the Golf GTI. And this is the Mark 8 GTI. And it's the Club Sport as well. Comes with 20-inch wheels, vented disc brakes, Akrapovic, if I've said that right, exhaust. Look at the lights on the back here. Sick, absolutely sick. 997 Carrera 2S, sitting right next to a GTS, a 992. One thing I love about the 992s is the light bar on the rear. Always looks good. Got a nice Boxster, finished in a satin wrap. Tim's 996 GT3 rendition, replication, evocation, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. The 996 is growing on me, and I love what Tim's done here. BBS wheels. Fun fact, he's got gold BBS wheels on that side, and he's got silver BBS wheels on the other. Check out this AMG GT. I've done a video on the GTC. Beautiful car, great to drive. The driving feel to a 9911 is completely different due to the fact that you sit right back, literally on the rear axle, and you've got this huge bonnet in front of you. And so it almost feels like you're steering from the rear. It does have real steering, but you really notice it in this car, which gives it great turning. M3 convertible, perfect weather for an M3 convertible. Look how it just shines. I've always been a fan of the M3. I have never owned one. I definitely think it's time to own one. And we've had such a great summer, almost too good. Look at me, look at the grass. It's absolutely terrible still. But if you're gonna be beaming around B roads on a sunny day, this is the car you want. Over to my camera car. Don't know if you guys know, but this is my Volkswagen Golf Mark 6R. It's my humble daily driver. As you can see, I've got cameras mounted on the rear. Well, there was a camera mounted there. And yeah, this car has served me so well. I bought it in 2013. It had 35,000 miles. It now has 130 miles. 130? 130,000 miles on it. It's the most reliable and dailyable car you could own. And when it comes to servicing and maintenance, because it's a Golf, parts are dirt cheap. And it shares a lot with the Audi S3, a few Seats. It's a Volkswagen, you know the Volkswagen group. Anyway, Mark 6R, quite rare. Don't see many of them on the road. Lots of Mark 7s, but the Mark 6 is definitely my favorite. If you are a regular subscriber to my channel, you would know that I've done a feature on this M3 diesel Touring, which has been developed by Noel from Piston Labs. This car is what I think every petrol head should have in their garage. This car is brilliant on fuel, brilliant on handling, looks great, has loads of room in the back. This could be the one car garage, an M3 diesel Touring that's ready to go on track. I had so much fun driving this car, and it's made me look at Tourings estates in a different light. Absolutely love this. Check out the video on the channel and tell me what you think. Coming over to this lovely 996 Turbo. The 996, if you have been keeping up with internet trends, the 996 Turbo is steadily rising in price and people are clawing to get hold of these. You can still pick up cheap ones, especially the Tiptronic. If I was you and you're in the market for a Porsche, you want a turbo and you don't want to spend over 50k, this is the car you want, because soon there won't be any under 50k. Love the turbo. I think the turbo twist wheels are one of the greatest design wheels ever, and I would love to put these on my 997. I wish they came in a 19 or a 20. In fact, I think Porsche should just bring back the turbo twist wheels for the 992. Okay, coming over to this M1 recreation. So this started off as an M130 and has been highly tuned engine-wise, body-wise, handling-wise, to not only perform like a 1M, but to just be even better than a 1M. The owner of this also owns the Touring diesel, and this car was developed purely to go onto the Nürburgring. Before we, I need to quickly show you something before it leaves. Check this out, and let's try and talk to them as well. Did you have a good time?
Firstly, to say you have wonderful children.
Oh, thank you so much.
And they're both amazing.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Both saffron and cinnamon. I love their names, and they're really lovely.
Oh, it's Micah, Saffron and Micah.
I know. Only joking. You go in.
Like cinnamon.
I got you. And the drive was amazing.
Yeah,
really,
did you enjoy it?
The trip.
Yeah.
Getting out of town, but once we hit those open roads,
yeah,
you must have spent a lot of time just finding them.
Yeah, because the main thing I wanted to do is I wanted a mixture of roads. So you had like the open roads so people could put their foot down, and then you had the nice scenic roads through the villages, because there's some really nice villages as well.
Really lovely.
And then the nice little country lanes that interlink between the towns as well.
You had the twisties,
yeah,
and you had the up and down,
yeah,
narrow and wide. It was really lovely. At no point was I thinking, when are we gonna get to my bacon butty, which was just 5-star. Well, thank you very much. That's such lovely guys and cool cars. Really cool cars. Not just expensive cars, just cool cars.
Yeah,
thank you.
Oh,
Can't wait
so
to get
much.
the next one.
So this is a Pemberton 224. This is a brand new car made in 2026, and Pemberton build cars to resemble cars from the 40s and 50s. Look at that. Absolutely stunning.
From Porsches and BMWs to hot hatches and even EVs, we had a real mixture of cars turn up for the drive. But actually, that's not really what this morning was about. The cars bring us together, but it's the people that make it. So rather than tell you whether the drive was any good, I thought I'd ask the people who actually came along. And this time, I've even recruited my kids to help me out.
What is it that you look for in a drive?
In a
driving tour?
Nice people, cool cars, nice open roads, good weather, a good vibe, and smiley, happy people to share that moment with.
Do you think that this drive met those criteria?
I think so. The first 20 minutes getting out of town, noticeably a bit boring, but you gotta get out of town. But the rest of it was just stupendous, amazing, really lovely.
Nice twisty roads, scenic, and basically being out with other drivers.
I think something similar to that, like, you know, nice open roads where you can kind of, you know, enjoy the car, the capabilities, and avoid potholes.
Not getting lost, first of all, but I think it's just nice, not only the roads and the scenery and so on, and getting out somewhere that you've not been before, but also just seeing how, on an average drive, your car kind of behaves itself along with other cars that you don't normally get to hang around with. So yeah, it's really interesting for me to put the M2 in and amongst a bunch of 911s and so on, and kind of see how it keeps up.
Yeah, most definitely.
Getting together with people, it's nice, the scenery. Yeah, and the cars, obviously, the cars is really, really, really good. I enjoyed that. Yeah, well, it's different than just going to a meet, rather than just standing there, you know, afterwards and just looking at the cars. It's nice to go out afterwards and end up with a nice coffee and a roll. Yeah, it's just different.
Twisty roads.
We've gotten that one a few times.
Twisty roads, and then big wide open roads I can put my foot down. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, you know.
Well, within
reason.
Yeah.
Sensible, you know.
A respectable
respectable speed. Yeah, you know, nothing like when the road just opens up and you can just put a little bit of power into it. That's what I look for.
And would you say that this drive met those criteria today?
100% met the criteria. It's been a great drive. At one point, I was doing 10 miles an hour and there was a deer coming up to the door of the car.
Yeah, at the safari bit.
Yeah, that was really cool. It felt like a video game. And the Forza Horizon soundtrack was playing in my car at that exact moment.
Oh, that's beautiful, a beautiful moment.
It came on randomly. But no, it was great. And then like the tunnel run at the beginning was good. Nice and wide open, you could see everyone's cars.
Camaraderie and driving with other Porsche drivers that are as passionate as I am.
Yeah, nice drive, like we are so patient, like you can use different experience, depends what you like, it's really good. So
nice
we need
roads.
Nice road as well, B1, calm, like nice, we have to do it more often.
And nice people.
Yeah.
The community is really good.
And would you say that this drive met those criteria today?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can't wait to do it again.
We have to start a bit earlier then. Next time we have to start an hour earlier. That would be definitely good.
Oh, I don't know, Micah. Can you wake up an hour earlier than today?
So let's try.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. Brilliant.
But if there was one car that really stole the show on the drive, it had to be this. Amongst all the Porsches and BMWs, this American muscle car was something completely different. So I had to meet the man behind it.
I know nothing about American muscle cars, so you need to lay out.
So you want
to
to make me look like an idiot?
What? Like, there's not even a badge on it where I can like. Okay,
yeah.
Let me quickly Google what that is. Like, what are we staring at here?
Is this a Hellcat? No, see, that's why I debadged it. There you go. Because everybody thinks when they see it, that's a Hellcat, right? Okay. It's a Scat Pack, right? 392 Scat Pack. So 6.4 Hemi,
right?
Okay. Naturally aspirated, standard power. That's true about cars.
Yeah.
485 standard horsepower. So, but it's been modified a little bit, so it'll put out a little bit more. And I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. But yeah, Dodge Scat Pack is what it is.
Did you import this, or did you buy this here?
Imported. No,
right. Okay.
I brought it with me.
Oh, that was going to be my next question. Actually, did you bring it with you?
Yeah, brought it with me. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yes.
This thing sounds insane.
Yeah,
it almost sounds like it shouldn't even be in the UK. It's like UK cars have a certain sound, and this just sounds like Godzilla.
Yeah.
you know, it's like
you're hyping it up a little bit. There's some mean cars out here in the UK, bro.
Oh, this is nuts, man.
Do you struggle with the width?
Nah, not at all. So I mean, I've been living here I was living over here for about 11 years before, maybe 3 years now. And I had big cars before over here, so I'm used to the width, you know. I mean, obviously when you got roads that are narrow and got overhanging trees and stuff like that, it's a little bit of a problem.
But the country lanes here, okay, how do you find
the only thing I don't like though is somewhere along the lines, man, in these towns and cities, y'all got those really narrow, like,
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, those I'm like,
because I've got a car which I think's wide. Right. It's my daily. And I was in two minds of whether I was actually going to get that car just simply because of the width. Actually, as it's turned out, a bit like you're saying, it's not been a problem at all.
You get used to it, right? Once you get used to the dimensions and stuff, it's
I mean, it's not as wide as this.
What's the power and torque figures out of this?
So power, I mean, what? Naturally aspirated standard is 485.
Okay.
Torque is probably about the same, 470, 472.
Right.
Not far off, so I mean, it's a big, heavy car, but it moves. It handles a lot better than people think.
Do you ever worry about traction in like the wet or damp? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like an M4, you gotta like be really tentative, right?
Yeah. I mean, you would think that, you know, without it being supercharged, you could get on it and, you know, it'd be okay. And the wet traction's still an issue, except for the fact that because I had the Michelin PS4s on it, those I mean, these take the car light years ahead in handling. So so it's nice. They're good tires.
Should I even ask what fuel consumption's like on this?
No, don't ask. Don't ask.
You don't check. Yeah.
I mean,
we don't go there.
My wife will probably see the video at some point in time, so I'm not gonna say how much I put in this when I put money in this. But
10 quid today, I've seen it.
Yeah,
£10.
Well, the tank is 18.5, right? Gallons.
Okay. What's that in litres?
Like one hole.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it'd probably be a little. How much does it cost? See, you're trying to get me to admit what I was.
His wife's gonna watch this. Like,
I mean, I do have a little bit better of a deal, but
it's around 80 litres.
It'll cost me close to 200 pounds to fill a tank. Close to 200. From
big fuel tank.
Yes. 18.5.
Is that before or after the crisis in Iran? Because fuel prices have gone up a bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying now. So yeah, probably without that, it was probably maybe somewhere around 120, 130. You know, to fill it, whatever. But
you should turn it off.
Right.
Yeah, like every time we've been stopping, and y'all can't figure out where we're going. I'm like,
going downhill, let it roll for a bit.
A little bit. Yeah, actually, it's not good to leave it idling anyway. But yeah.
Cool. Thank you, brother.
Nah, it's my pleasure, man.
Yeah. Guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and a thumbs up. Today's drive has been absolutely perfect. We've had a great selection of cars, BMWs, Porsches, even American muscle cars, and everyone here has just had a great time. So the next time we do one, make sure you come along. I'll put a link in the description below to where you can buy tickets to the next drive. You will love it, I promise you. It's awesome. It's not just about static car meets, it's about keeping it moving, keeping it rolling. Rolling slow media, baby. Anyway, I will catch you in the next video. Until then, take care, peace.